Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we have some great league battles from Motiks for Caleb's Critique Corner. Motiks is actually a very strong battler and actually teammates with Ryblet, a previous trainer I featured who's all the way on the leaderboards, very accomplished. And Motiks is also quite the battler himself. So let's take a look at how these battles went. Before we get into the battles, a big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you would also like to have early access to my strategies and lineups or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the Patreon link down below. Alright, let's take a look at these battles from Motiks. The team he's running is a Glaring Stunfisk, Altari, and Frostlass, which you don't see a ton of these days. Glaring Stunfisk in particular because, really just because Medcham is so popular. Alright, I like that play to damage the Shadow Victory Belt and then come in Frostlass, choosing not to shield. Alright, so here's why I think that was a pretty solid play. Maybe predicting that there's a lot of faster pressure on this team, maybe a Bastion on the back. Throwing the Rock Slide to chip down the Victory Bell so that you can take it out with Powder Stones is quite nice. I think Grammy wants to go. Alright, it's probably a good idea because I'm wearing black and that's not great for cat hair purposes. But so what he did is he threw a Rock Slide. It gets no shield from the Victory Bell, which usually Victory Bells do shield. But then putting it in Powder Snow range and choosing not to shield the Leaf Blade, expecting a Victory Bell counter. Let's see what it is. Is it Bastion? No, it's going to be a Noctowl, but I think Motiks is going to wear this timer. You have a good check to it with Glaring Stunfisk, although a little bit weakened at this point. And then you have Altaria, which is a great check to it. Could still be a Bastion. Could be another flying Pokemon as well. Could be, you know, Shadow Victory Bell, Double Flyer. I think Motiks realizing that this Glaring Stunfisk has some value. And here's why. Why would a Noctowl stay in this matchup if their Switch Timer's not up, right? So the only reason that is because this is their best counter to the Glaring Stunfisk. Or what? Okay, they're not shielding. Alright, okay, yeah. So it still is, right? Altaria and Altaria. So Double Flyer, is going to be the team that we're facing. This is still looking pretty good for Motiks. I think you just let this go and just Rock Slide. Oh, no. Okay, choosing to preserve it. Maybe wants to grab this final shield. I like this play too because you force opponents to spend their final shield. They can't easily Dragon Breath you down. Yeah, they do, but they take a lot of damage. And then Mudshot resisted is going to be a little bit easier. Oh, they're actually running Dragon Pulse. What in the world? Oh, and the opponent actually banked a move. Oh, wow. Right. Good place from the opponent there. I think, let's see. If Motiks didn't shield the Sky attack, what's the play, right? So I think Motiks spent this final shield, right? I think if you let it go, you double up, you could tank a move. Yeah, I think in like looking at the health on this Glaring Stunfisk at this point in time, right? There's enough health on here that, you know, obviously this is where the first shield comes up. Look at the health on Glaring Stunfisk, right? If you didn't shield this, the Altaria can't take out the Glaring Stunfisk even while up a shield. So you save that final shield for the Noctowl in case you're left with energy. I obviously wasn't counting, but maybe Motiks had an idea at that point. Maybe thought could outpace. I don't know. But because you could tank a damage here, right? You could tank your Dragon Pulse, no problem. Build up to a lot of energy. And then, yeah, the unfortunate Noctowl just had to move. Alright, let's go into the second battle. Not a bad lead. If it's Water Gun, it's a little trickier, but it is going to be Spark, so that's a lot better for this Glaring Stunfisk. Main reason why you want to stay in here is because Frostlass is not great against Lantern. Going for the bait, it's not a bad bait. And we get the shield, which is huge. The biggest thing Motiks has to watch out for is a catch or like a snipe down, like, you know, something coming in with counter or something like that. So getting to this Earthquake and we get it to knock out, right? So that's pretty huge. And now you have the Venusaur coming in, but on top of that, you also have Altaria, which is going to do really well against this Venusaur. And they come in Charizard. Now, Charizard typically is not great for this Frostlass, but you're up a shield, and you do get to this Avalanche. I think the play is you probably just throw this, force their final shields, and then, yeah, honestly, even if you get baited here, you're fine. I would probably shield this. Yeah, good shield, because even as a bait, they don't have time to go for anything further. And even if the Venusaur gets the Friend Split and take out the Frostlass, your Altaria just completely walls this off. Not walls it off, but it's a pretty positive matchup for Altaria. Yeah, good play there. Good recognition to just let the shield up the Frostlass and get maximum value against Charizard. Excuse me. All right. So Frostlass, even though it does get countered from Lantern, it's actually still not bad into it. You see, you get a shield, right? Because if you land that, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. You could bait them a little bit more easily with Avalanche. But this is not a bad situation. However, it's not a terrible situation for the opponent because you're going to get a decent amount of chip damage with this Lantern into the Glaring Stunfisk. And, you know, Medicham is a counter for Glaring Stunfisk, but if it has a lot of health or energy, the Earthquakes still add up. So chipping this down is going to be really important. And then Medicham, oh my gosh, all right, catching the move on a Noctowl, that's kind of nuts. So maybe they thought that there's like a Noctowl in the back or something. They need the Lantern. But it turns out that the Altari is actually pretty good into it. So even though it's a great catch from the opponents, it might have not been the best catch. But we're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. Yeah, so I mean, if the opponent shields here, I don't think they will, right? Yeah, so they no shields. I mean, they kind of just gave up like a good matchup. And then now they have Altaria into Medicham. Like in that situation, yeah, it's a nice catch. I mentioned this in some other critique corner videos as well. Sometimes just because you can make a really nice catch doesn't mean it's a good thing, right? Like for some situations, it's better not to make the catch. It's better just to play it straightforward, right? Like, yeah, people know their counts. You know, they want to, you know, kind of do what they can in those situations. A huge no surf shield, actually. Ooh, this is still going to be close, though. This is still going to be really close. Let's see what they're going to do. Motiks, I don't know if you get to... No, unfortunately not. Yeah. So still not getting the win there, but I think the opponent just made it harder than it need to, right? Yes, you're down to shields, but you let the Glaring Stunfisk take you out, because they can't take you out with Rock Slide, right? I think they still need to throw Earthquake. And that spends a lot of energy. You come in Medicham, they come in, Motiks comes in Altari. You throw an Ice Punch at the Altari, they have the shield, or they take a lot of damage. You come in Noctowl, right? You're in a good spot. You know, yes, they did win that matchup, but they just made it way harder, right? I think Motiks did really well, given the matchup that he had. That's just a bad team composition, in my opinion. I'm not really sure what else he could have done in that situation. Yeah, because you can't really shield a Thunderbolt, right? All right. Interesting situation. I would probably throw this Rock Slide at the very last second, because you could definitely still live one or two more Snarls. Yeah, at least one more. Maybe make the opponent think you're close to Earthquake or whatever. But yeah, if you throw just the Rock Slide, they just easily snarl you down without worrying about shielding, right? But it's still pretty good. Good situation. It was a Dunsparce lead with an Umbreon on the back. That's kind of odd. Yeah, very weak to fighters. Okay. I'd probably just go for the Moonblast at that situation. I know two shields are up, but this is really awkward because you can't really Powder Snow down the Umbreon. I mean, okay. Oh, good timing. I think that was CMP actually. Okay, huge. Oh, that's not great. Yeah, Spark Lantern. All right, so you do have to do some baits here, and I think it's a pretty safe bait, right? They have a lot of shields. Man, is this like an extra small lantern or something? It's like super hard to see on my screen. What the heck? Yeah, good to no shield the first one, because even if they go Thunderbolt, like they still need another move, so it's always good not to have to shield the Surf. And good recognition from the opponent actually to go straight Surf. Go for the catch. Oh no, it's close. I think even if Motiks threw that Moonblast at the Umbreon, I think it's still a pretty tough matchup. Yeah, I mean that's kind of just like a read situation, right? So it was. Let me just double check that lead. Yeah, it was Dunsparce. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so that team is just like really weak to Glaring Stunfisk, but once you get rid of it, you actually have a lot of play in the back, right? Very strong into Frostlass too, which I don't think a lot of teams are particularly built to beat Frostlass, but yeah, the whole team beat Frostlass. Frostlass had like nowhere to go. Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know if Motiks could have won that one no matter how he played it out, but yeah, good on the opponent there. All right, Buzzwole, and they shield. I mean, this is probably gonna be a lunge. Yeah, but like if it's a superpower, it does put you in a really tough spot. Yeah, the lunge makes this really awkward because Toxapex is pretty bulky, despite the fact that this Frostlass is resisting the poison jab damage. Toxapex can really tank moves. Oh man, and get even more energy. I mean, the debuff Shadow Balls are definitely helping the opponent quite a bit, right? No need to shield. Yeah, I don't think you really much out this down. This is like a really bad spread. Toxapex. Yeah, maybe you could actually. This is actually a good play. I like this play because you're taking double resisted or is it triple resisted poison jabs, right? And so now you have a bunch of energy. I would throw a rock slide first. Earthquake, interesting. Does that do more damage? I think 2 rock slides is more, right? It's resisted. All right, well, let's see what happens here. Neutral rock slide, I think, might double neutral. But okay, they go for the lunge. Wow, do they not have... Oh, okay, interesting. All right. I like that lunge play a lot, actually, from the opponent because they're down shields, right? So they need to... Oh, wow, you get an attack drop from the Moonblast. Okay. Well... Definitely looking not too bad. So the scary part... Oh, okay. Do you shields? I guess you shields. I would swap out. Yeah, I like this play a lot. Swapping out... Catching a surf. Unfortunately, you don't get the rock side off. I think maybe Motiks do the rock side initially. Oh, was it undercharge? They lag out? They get mad? I don't know. I mean, I think it's still kind of winnable, potentially. Oh my gosh, another phone closer. Just because someone caught a move on you? Come on, dude. Like, that's still, like, decently winnable. Lantern's pretty bulky. Like, it's hard to completely Dragon Breath that thing down. Yeah, Altaria has a move ready, but doesn't have back-to-back. So they kind of have to throw, potentially. I don't know. It's also possible that they crash, their phone crash. I don't know. But if they quit out that one, like, that's definitely very winnable. All right. Typically speaking, Frost safe swap really, really strong. But this is the one thing you well, not the one thing, but one of the few things you really don't want to see because there's no way you could grab a shield off this Umbreon. Yeah. I doubt they're going to shield. I mean, there might be a potential, but it doesn't make too much sense. Yeah, there's really no need. Going for the full Snarl down. Wow, okay. Opponent really knows how to play out that matchup. Getting the maximum energy, but at the same time, Glittering Stomp is going to get a lot of energy here as well, so that's not too bad, all things considered. And yeah, getting almost a full Mudshot down. It's a really clunky matchup for the Deoxys defense, but because it's chipped so much, it's actually pretty nice. And then they actually shield. This is awkward. Do you shield? All right, it's a Psycho Boost, right? They chip. Ooh, it's a good thing you didn't shield, but this is almost just straight hard counters. I don't know what Motiks can do. I mean, putting up a fight for sure, but this is not a match you win, especially debuff. Like, the ice shards are adding up. Like, it just, yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, this is a tough one. All right. Let's see. Regiseal. So, Regiseal wins the 0 shield scenario here, but you win all the other shielding scenarios. Going straight Earthquake. Letting the Focus Blast go. This is kind of interesting. You don't want to be the first one to shield. Oh, okay. Maybe they're weak to... Okay, this Regiseal doesn't win. I think maybe they're just IV spread is not that great. Typically speaking, you should be able to win the zeros. But yeah, maybe they just don't have a great stat product, Regiseal. We get a shield from the Venusaur is actually pretty big. I'm not really sure why they shielded. Maybe they lost track of the energy. But... okay. Honestly, that Sludge Bomb actually came in pretty handy because it did some meaningful chip damage against the Altaria. And, you know, I know you're thinking, all right, well, Frost Sass, I like the Moonblast. They're already down shield, right? I think you just safely go for this. Oh, they shields. I mean, I think you just shield and you just throw the Moonblast, right? Yeah, I mean, you're up a shield. You should be fine. I like that. I still like the play from Motiks. Man, this is getting awkward by the second. But I think it's still the right play. Because they're down to shield, right? But this is not fun. Okay, here's why. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Okay. They need to come in Venusaur right away, have some residual to win this. I think they do. Let's see if they get there first. What? Hold on. Let's count the Venusaur counts. Because if they're ahead on energy, they completely just messed up that situation. Alright, so Venusaur comes in. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 Vine Whips, right? 5, 6, or they must have been at 7. Yeah, they swapped out. So they're energy dry, which means that it takes them 6 Vine Whips. So if they swap at the same time, let's see if the Frostas came in ahead on energy or not. I think it did. Yeah, okay. Venusaur and Frostless get to the moves at the same exact timing. So if a Venusaur is ahead on energy, or when CMP, if it's on same energy, it gets that Frenzy Plant first. And Frenzy Plant hits hard against Frostless, even for neutral, right? But because that Frostless, I think, was one turn ahead, like not even a full Powder Snow ahead, but one turn, it still gets that move before. Carbink Grass Hole situation is what this is looking like. Yeah, good no shield. I mean, you have no play into a Carbink. Like, you want as little health as possible, right? The play here from Motiks is actually, once this Carbink comes in, throw this Moonblast and then come in right. Once this Altaria gets knocked out, you come in right away. You lock this in. Oh my gosh, another attack drop too. Yeah, huge play, right? This is really smart because why? Let me tell you why you want to do this, right? Sometimes you want to wait out Switch Timer, but if you're in a matchup like this, there's still a good chunk of time left. You force your opponent to stay in a bad matchup, right? You don't want to wait the Switch Timer in this situation because you want to be in this matchup as long as possible, right? Yeah, and then now you just straight up win. Yeah, this is pretty much unwinnable for the opponent. I like the straight Shadow Ball. No need to mess around. Just go for it. You have shield advantage. Yeah, it's just over. You even let this go. Carbine Power Punch Medgem. Interesting. This is kind of like some variation of like Bastion, Shadow Vic, Medgem. I feel like we've seen that team a lot. All right, fantastic. All right, Nino. Alolan Sandslash. This is definitely where you want to see it. Alolan Sandslash is actually pretty strong in this team. It's actually very strong in this team. Yeah, Shield of Drill. It's a good shield, but this again signals to Nino that there's a lot of value in this Alolan Sandslash. So he's going to want to protect it, which is actually not a bad thing that Motiks did that, because now Motiks do a Rock Slide because he knows that Nino knows that Alolan Sandslash is very valuable, right? So for him, it's a pretty safe bait. Baiting again, I like this play, right? You kind of need to make something happen here. Yeah, this is good. You force the second shield, or you just take it out, and now you're in a really good spot, right? And again, oh, actually swapping out. Okay, Charizard. Okay, that Venusaur is going to be a little annoying to take out because you're down shields. Like, that Venusaur can definitely plow through this team, right? Don't shields. That's actually a really smart no shield. Yeah, the Sludge Bomb comes through. Again, bringing the Frost Dust in is so scary because the Frenzy Plant just takes, like, hits before. Well, I mean, you have a shield, right? So it's fine. Ooh, was that CMP? Or maybe they should overfarm. Oh, CMP. That's huge. That's huge because one, it's not going to KO, and two, you have energy. Yeah, that's really solid. Yeah, I think in that situation, if you think that, I mean, because it is a CMP situation, if you're, man, I think I get why Nino did that. You have to go for a CMP, right? Because Nino knows there's energy on the Glaring Stunfisk. So if you overfarm that Frostlass and you just shield their Avalanche, you end up losing anyway. Your only hope is you win CMP, take out that Frostlass, and then you can what do you call it? Save your shield for Glaring Stunfisk. However, I think in that situation, it's just like unwinnable because there's two scenarios. Either one, you lose CMP and the Frost is kind of attack weighted, or two, you win CMP, which means the Frostlass gets really bulky, right? Turns out even the more attack weighted Frostlass is still bulky enough to tank the Frenzy Plant, right? So like, even if you don't take, like, the problem is the Avalanche comes through regardless, right? Even if you CMP. It wins CMP if you're Nino. So, but yeah, well played by Motiks in that one. Good recognition of how to kind of play around that Alolan Sandslash, really because of how strong it is into that back end matchups. All right, Azumarill. Wait, let me see what happened here. Sorry, I missed the beginning. Did he safe swap the Azumarill or Altaria? Oh yeah. I mean, the problem is this Jellicent's a huge core breaker, right? Like, you can't really swap in Frostlass, but safe swapping Azumarill is gutsy. I mean, being double weak to ice, and also with Bastion and Carbink around, like, it's not easy. But okay, so this Azumarill is running Play Rough, so that's actually not bad because one takes more energy to take out this Altaria, and you can't really just Ice Beam and like bubble down, right? Like, you have to throw another Play Rough, which is a little bit more energy intensive. But, oh, dude. Well, one, Jellicent lead, Play Rough Azumarill in the back. What? Like, what do they do against a Grass Lead? Like, a Venusaur just tears through this. I mean, even Lantern is really rough. What is going on? This is like a Fossil Cup team? Alright. Ooh, this is tough. Yeah, I think you have to bait or something, right? There's so much value on this Galarian Stunfisk because it's just so hard to take out this Jellicent. So far, Frostas has seen nothing, and they no shield. Straight Savages. You have to shield. You have to shield. I think maybe go for another Rock Slide. I mean, yeah, maybe you should go Earthquake. I don't think you get time to it, especially if they... Oh! They let it go. Oh, my gosh. Talonflame. What the heck? Yeah, Frostas has nowhere to go. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Yeah, Frostas is not a lot of places. Overall, I think Frostas maybe probably a little bit hard to use these days in Great League, but still going positive, right? Probably not the team I would recommend, personally speaking, for climbing purposes, but I think Motiks played pretty well. I think there were a couple matchups where just that Frostas specifically had nowhere to go, right? But recognizing the win conditions, I think, was definitely one of Motik's strong suits, right? Understanding, like, in this situation, I need to bait this Alolan Sandslash. I can't go for the Earthquake. I mean, shields up, that's pretty safe in general, but, like, just playing into the mind games of your opponents and, you know, trying to make them make certain plays to give your backline more room to play around. Overall, I think the gameplay was pretty solid, as to be expected, especially someone that's already hit Legend, done a lot of battles in Show 6 and GPL. The things to work on, I think it's probably... Honestly, there aren't a ton... A lot of the losses, honestly, were just, like, very team comp dependent, right? It was just, like, they were just really tough, like, leads or just entire backlines. But it's Great League. Great League's kind of a mixed bag these days. I think the only thing that I'm really like remembering that maybe was a slight misplay was that like Altaria mirror in one of the earlier matchups, and maybe just like spamming the shields in not the best shielding situation. But overall, I think the shield usage from Motiks was pretty solid, so I don't have a lot of complaints. I think Motiks definitely did a lot more pivoting in certain situations, but I think the pivoting was fine. I think you need to pivot out in case there's like a lone Sandslash in the back or Registeel, right? So I think the pivots made sense. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think the gameplay was pretty clean. I don't have too many complaints. Like, yeah, there's a few micro things that he could have done in certain matchups, but overall, this was some pretty solid gameplay. I think if anyone is looking to kind of learn from some gameplay, like, this is a good example of that, right? Thank you to Motiks for sending over this footage, and if you'd like to be featured on Caleb's Critique Corner, feel free to shoot me a message at Caleb Peng on Twitter, and I'll be sure to take a look at it. I keep saying this, feel free to send me footage for the next meta because I'm wrapping up this week soon, but I forgot Fossil Cup is actually 2 weeks, so if you have more Fossil Cup footage, feel free to send it my way, or if you are looking forward to Ultra League is starting in a little over 12 hours from now, so feel free to record some of that and shoot it my way. But yeah, still happy to critique, and I'm really grateful for everyone sending their footage in because it's been a lot of fun. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll catch you all next time.